I'm gonna start the recording real quick. There we go. Wait a second. You said that you don't mind being it being published on YouTube, right?
I don't mind.
Okay. So let me see. Something isn't right. Can you talk real quick?
Hello?
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, should be fine now. Okay. Let me see. So I'm gonna just share you my screen. When it's like blurry or something, just tell me. Then I just can lower the resolution, and you should be fine.
Okay. Oh, I don't see anything yet for now.
You should now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do see it.
Okay. So so let's first get into like champion pool, right?
Yeah.
Because that's something important. So what champions did you think of playing?
Well, let's start. Well, I have to learn an AD and an AP jungler.
I mean, you don't really need to. It doesn't really matter. Like it's
Oh,
it's
really?
silver. Yeah, it's silver. It's gold. It doesn't really matter. Just play something you're comfortable on or something easy. Doesn't matter if it's AP, AD.
Yeah, I wanted to try Rek'Sai, but I found it like I was always unhealthy after the first clear with Rek'Sai.
Oh.
And then I've tried Evelyn, more comfortable to finish my first clear, but she's quite weak early game. Before 6, can't even fight for the Skull Crab, and I don't know what else I can play. I don't really want to play a tank though, because playing a tank can't really hard carry stuff.
I mean, it's silver. Like you can hard carry pretty much anything. I can tell you that. But like, I played. I once proved to like a student of mine that you can basically get to diamond with any jungler. So I played Teemo jungle to diamond. So it doesn't really matter. Like
I know.
Okay, so what I recommend would be Xin Zhao.
Yeah.
Don't know if you.
I think I have
like
Xin Zhao here. Don't really like him, but it's alright.
Okay, why don't you like him?
Start with it. I don't like his kit so much. It feels like he's like not much. He doesn't do that much scaling.
Yeah, exactly. But that's exactly what you want. You don't want like scaling doesn't really matter and skill doesn't really matter. Because I can tell you right now that you probably lose 99% of your games, not because of the champion you picked, but because of how you played the game. So the champion itself doesn't really matter. What matters though is that you are able to focus on your gameplay. Yeah. So easy champions are the way to go. So you don't need to waste any mental capacity on
I mean, I've been playing Flex with 2 of my friends anyway, and both of them are pretty dog shit, and I still carry them. But it's only because I'm playing on top lane. So I think my mental is fine.
I mean, I don't think that Rek'Sai would be a good choice for you. I would say Warwick would be a pretty good choice. Xin Zhao would be a pretty good choice.
How's Evelyn though?
No. The problem with Evelyn is she's hard to play in the sense that her ganks are just way harder to play out than like with Xin Zhao. So you need to plan way more ahead. And she has a way higher skill ceiling. I mean, sure, you can, with like pretty much any assassins, you're able to abuse low elo if you're able to play them, but like abusing low elo is not what you want. Like you want to get better because once like assassins don't work in the current meta, you're just fucked basically.
Yeah, I'm seeing my friends failing in D1 promos.
I mean, if you're failing in like D1 because of a meta change, you shouldn't really be D1. But yeah, whatever. That's not the point of this mission. Amumu, I like Amumu. Like you go AP into Leandris, and if you need, you can go tank after that. I don't know if you're down for some Amumu, but
how's Amumu's early game like? Can you really
You can.
2v2?
I mean, sure. You have a CC, you have pretty decent damage, of course.
Mm.
You have decent clear, he's not hard to play, you just need to like land your bandage toss and then you're good to go. Basically. I mean, it's on you. I would say Amumu, Zen... Wait, what was the last one I said?
Warwick.
Warwick, exactly. So those are the 3 I like to recommend. But
See?
like... It's your choice, like what you want to play. I wouldn't recommend Evelyn at all.
I don't think I'll play Warwick. Might as well just start with 2 champions instead.
Okay, so I would just go for a moment then.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
I think
fine.
the clear path is more important.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like, the pathing and clearing, you will see, depends on so many other different things than the champion itself. So,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter. Okay. So, let's see. Where do we start? Okay, we just start off with like self-improvement, some things on what you need to learn in order to like get better at the game, or how you can get better at the game yourself. So basically what you want to do, so give me a second, I'll just write that down real quick. Okay, so basically what you do in game, right, is decision making, right? So decision making is a huge part of League, and basically every game you touch or everything you do, decision making pretty much plays in. Okay, so the question is how can we make better decisions in game, right? So one of the things I always teach and talk about is like having an actual plan and not just reacting to things. But other than that, it's about actually having better options. Because basically what you're doing when you're making a decision is choosing from different options you have available, right? Even if you don't see other options, there are other options. Okay, so how can we improve those other options? It's quite easy, right? You analyze your own gameplay and do the exact same thing. So what you want to do is when you analyze your gameplay is you stop and you make something that's called, or that I call option-based analysis. So what you're doing is you just try to look for, okay, so you stop the game, you stop the replay, I mean, and then you just then you just give yourself 3 options, what you should be doing, or what you could be doing differently, and as long as one of them is better, you already improved on something, okay? So you just stop the game, pause the game, and see, okay, what should I look for, what am I able to do other than what I did, right? What are the other options I have, basically? And if you're able to come up with a better option than you actually did, you already improved, basically. Okay, so the question is now, how do we improve the options you have in your analysis? Well, that's pretty easy. You look at better players, right? And look what they are doing, and you do the exact same thing. Okay? So you...
Should I be like looking at OTP players, or...
If you want to learn the champion, yes. If you don't want to
Uh-huh.
learn the champion, if it's not champion dependent, yeah, no.
It's pretty dumb to find a Mumu OTP, right?
I'm pretty sure there are some. There's everybody OTPs something. I'm pretty sure there's somebody, but it doesn't really matter. Like since Amumu, those champions are really straightforward, and you don't really like there are no like advanced mechanics you can use, right? So you can just learn them by playing the game, basically. You don't need to actually watch people because there are no like hidden or advanced mechanics which you can use. So yeah. Okay, so if you watch a pro or high elo player, right, or a replay, or you watch a stream like Yank or something like that, right? You do the exact same thing. You pause the game, you pause the stream, you pause the video, and you just think to yourself, okay, what would I do here? Like, what are the options? What would I do here? Okay. If, and probably most of the time, he would do something different than you, right? You consider this an option 2. Okay. So what you do with this is you get better options from watching better players, right? So you can use them in your analysis and can see, okay, right? I saw this and this. Can I use it in my gameplay right here, right? It's quite simple. It's basically
There's one thing.
yeah.
Whenever I watch better players playing, well, I watch TF Blade, sorry, TF Blade, Ford, and then I watch a bit of Red IRL and Rush. All these players, they don't rely on the vision. I think they guess the enemy's position without words, but then like I'm relying too much on pink words.
Wait.
And
What do you mean? Like the enemy junglers?
So what they do is they don't place any pink words at all on the map every time I watch them play, and then I think they guess the enemy's positions, so they know where the jungler is, where everyone else is. But then like what I do is
You
I
don't really
place
guess.
my wards all the time, and then
You want to place the wards when you need to.
because like when I watch them playing, they are not placing anything at all.
Yeah, I mean that's stupid. Like you should place wards, but you should place wards when you need them. When do you need? Okay, so this is how you improve your decision making, right? It's basically monkey see, monkey do. You watch better players. You basically copy from them what they are doing, but don't just blindly copy. Okay, think about it. That's why I told you to like compare your gameplay with better players, so you actually see the differences, right?
Yeah,
that's the point. And then you just are able to copy these things they do, right? And this way you just slowly improve your decision making, basically. Okay. So, let's just, this has nothing to do with jungle, but we can go over this. Okay, let's say you're blue side, okay? And you're pushing.
Yeah.
Should you ward?
Depends what time it is.
Why?
That's when I know where the jungler is. And depending on where my jungler is as well, like if my jungler is near me, I'll just place a pink ward in my bush, making it easier for him to gank. And then if my jungler is not around and their jungler that I know they're on top side, I would just place a normal ward and then I play passive or quickly push the wave.
Yeah, I mean that's about it. Like that's when you need wards. And you don't guess. I mean, you do kind of guess where the enemy jungler is, but you make an educated guess. So you... I mean, 90%, I would say, like, if you're decent at tracking the enemy jungler, and it's not like silver or gold, where people just run around fucking doing anything, it's really easy to track the enemy jungler. Or not easy, but you have, like... But you can make an educated guess that he's somewhere on the map. If you have knowledge about like how pathing works, right? You know that he's, let's just say he ganked bot lane a minute ago, and you saw that he has the same XP as your jungler, or the same level as your jungler, for example, and your jungler basically is full cleared. So you basically know that his bot side is full cleared too, or depending on the timing, right? He should, if you know that he is cleared bot, okay, he will be top, so you should ward, right? It's quite simple. Every time he's top side, you should ward if you're top laner, right? And this is not so hard to do because you just basically need the starting location. And when you know the starting location, right, you know, okay, so he's probably top lane in like 2 minutes, or like 1.5 minutes. He's going to clear his top side camps again, okay, so you need to ward, right? If you like spot him on the map, it's just becomes super easy to like actually make an educated guess where he's going to be next in like the next 1 or 2 or 3 minutes, right? Because you can actually count his CS. You can see, okay, let's just say he just ganked bot lane and died. You probably know, okay, I have like 1 wave, right? 1 wave is 30 seconds, so you have 1 wave you can manipulate to not get ganked because he's probably going to path topside, right? Or his blue is coming up. Usually in silver, gold, and dumb shit elos like that. What usually happens is that people just go to the camps where they're just up, right? So if you see that his blue is coming up, he's super likely to just go and grab it because, well, it doesn't even matter if he needs it right now. It doesn't even matter if there's a better path available. Blue's there, so I go there. So that's usually what happens. So you can make a super easy educated guess. I mean, in low elo, it's basically okay. Where are my camps up? So they go there.
I think it happens even in Plat, especially
I mean,
S9.
I
Since
mean
S9, they're
that.
pretty doctored.
I mean that happens till like fucking master. People just go where their camps are up. It's super easy to track the enemy jungler. I mean, it's easier when it comes to higher elo because they try to take the most efficient path.
Yeah.
So it's just easier to guess that. And in lower elo, they just make pathing mistakes, which if you know how to track the enemy jungler, you're just going to have problems because he doesn't even know how to fucking path. So yeah. So when he doesn't know what he's doing, how can you know what he's doing, right? But I mean, it shouldn't really matter because when do you want to ward? You want to ward when you're pushing. If you just saw the enemy jungler bot side, you don't really need to ward even though you're pushing, right? And then you just ward like next wave because he could be top side then. It's pretty easy. Okay, so let's go away from that. Okay, so Mumu in. As I said, I mean, you can. There are plenty of other champions you can play, but I always recommend them. Otherwise, it's just on you. I mean, I can.
So unlike Evelyn and Rek'Sai, they always go for blue smite.
Yeah.
These junglers can go for both, right?
What do you mean?
Like when I went to Rek'Sai main Discord,
Yeah.
they say like you need blue smite because like when you're
To
barreled,
close the gap, yeah.
yeah, you need to close the gap with blue smite. Otherwise, with red smite, you can't do anything.
I mean, you can't really go red smite on a Mumu. We can go over the builds really quick if you want me to. I mean, builds is not really a problem because you can find those builds online. If you just Google pro builds is a great source. You can go for like look up one trick ponies, right? There's something like it's called League of Graphs.
Yeah.
Where you can find like one trick ponies on certain champions, right? I don't even know what they're currently playing on a Mumu. Let's just see. Who's the best Mumu player? Tell me. Turkish Mumu player. There we go. 60% win rate EU. I mean, Turkish challenger is like fucking Plat 1.
D5 Plat 1.
Something like that. Nah, I mean, it's not that bad, but nearly as bad. Okay, so let's just say, okay, Iakish. He's on EOS. Okay, let's see what he's building, huh? It's quite simple. How to find out builds and runes.
Do you go electrocute as well? But then that's when they don't have an tank.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't go electrocute. Yeah, he goes
Conqueror.
I mean, that was like a top lane Mumu game. Wait, is he top lane Mumu playing? Is he playing top lane Mumu? No, you gotta fucking.
But then you get like a lot less.
He's only playing Jax basically right now, and he's playing top lane Mumu. Other than that, he's playing Jax.
He's been inting though with a Mumu.
Huh?
He's been inting with a Mumu.
No, not at all. Like.
Really?
Had a decent game here, decent game here, decent game here. I mean, sure, you win, you lose some games. Okay, so he's okay. Well, that's hard because he's playing top lane Mumu. Okay. Let's see. I mean, I don't want to do it, but like.
Ew.
Let's just see. Oh, he's currently master on fucking. Oh, he's challenging Flex. Oh, get me out.
Yikes. Bye.
Okay, so. Okay, I mean, as I said, you can like Mumu isn't really a great jungler, but you can. He's pretty easy, so I mean you should probably still win. But as I said, if you like come up with anything that's not hard to play, you can go for it, pretty much.
I don't have all champs in any of the accounts, but recently I've got a 60k Blue Essence account. I can start on that as well.
Yeah.
How's Fiddlesticks? Is he still...
No. Forget about Fiddlesticks. Forget about Fiddlesticks. That's something for one trick ponies. I mean, you can still go. Olaf is is something you can do.
Olaf is not a champion I like playing because me and my brother don't like just run down.
Okay.
J4? But then J4 is like pretty.
I mean J4, yeah, sure. No, J4 is really? Is absolutely fine. You can play Zac. I don't know if you like that. Probably not, right? Trundle is a great choice in my opinion.
Okay.
For like low elo. Okay, so I'm gonna just put down like a Mimix in Trundle. You can play G4 if you want, that's fine too.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just like go for that. I think that makes the most sense. Okay,
Yeah.
so as I said, it's really easy. You can just go for probuilds.net and pretty much find anything you need, right? All the runes, all the runes and all the fucking items on probuilds. So yeah. Okay, so let's hop into like game theory. What do you think are the most important things when it comes to jungling?
Most important.
Yeah, give me like your top three.
Top 3. Gold income.
Okay.
Taking everything myself. That's the first one, yeah. Second is having the proper build. Like I've seen so many players, even in Diamond, they build weird items, and that lead them to lose the whole game after like 20 ganks, and they don't do shit. And then the third thing, I guess, is the macro.
Okay, like the problem is you're like so far away from everything I would like imagine. Sure, builds, but this is something I don't really like. Builds and runes are so easy to find on the internet. If you don't have the right runes and builds, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. There's something wrong with your brain because you can just look them up. So the first option is like you're retarded or you're just lazy as shit and don't care at all. But like for those two options, like you shouldn't get a coach in either way. So I mean,
nah.
Okay, so I'm assuming you know how to type probuilds.net and look up a champion. Okay, great. There we go. You're set. Okay, so the first thing is looking at lanes. Okay.
Yeah, I do that.
The second thing, I mean, you already told me. Second thing is tracking the enemy jungler, and the third thing is to plan ahead. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you right now why those things are important, okay?
Yeah.
Or let's just go over it.
Actually, I know why the first one is pretty important, because like with the waves, if you don't look at the lanes and just blind ganking, you fuck up the waves. I've seen this happening so many times.
I mean, not really that, but like if you're just I mean, how are you going to plan ahead if you don't know how the lane is going to look like in like a minute? So how are you able to like actually path somewhat efficiently if you don't know what the top lane is going to look like in a minute? If you're only reacting all the time, you will have such a hard time playing the game. It's way easier to like go out of your way to like react to something even though you had a plan, because you can fall back on something if that doesn't work out, right?
Yeah.
Than to just like react all the time. You're just if you're just reacting to what the game gives you that particular moment and you don't plan ahead at all, you're just going to have I mean, I see so many people in Silver, Gold, and Plat who are just like running around like a fucking headless chicken in their jungle, not even knowing what camp they should pick. It fucking amazes me. So looking at lanes, I mean, basically what League is all about and what most of the things in life are about is getting information and executing information, right? So if you walk over the street, if you cross the street, you gotta look left and you gotta look right? So you don't get run over by a car. Like, that's what you should do, right? Same in League. It's get the information you need, then plan what you're going to do with that information. So basically when you want to cross the road, you look left and right. You already know you want to cross that road, that's your goal, and then you go to cross that road when the circumstances are right? It's quite simple. Nothing else in League. So what you want to do is you want to look at top lane, see if it's gankable and when it's gankable. Let's just say the wave just bounced, so it's gankable in a wave, right? The wave is bouncing, it's slow pushing into your laner, so you're able to gank that lane in like 30 seconds to a minute. Okay, so you already know. Okay, in 1 minute, in 30 seconds or a minute, depends on how the wave is doing, right? Or what the laner is doing, basically. You need to be there. That's your goal. Okay, gank top lane in a minute. Okay, so once you know that you have a minute to clear your jungle, right? Or to prepare the gank. So you know which path to take. You want to take the most efficient path, right? So you want to clear as much camps as you can to be on top side. So you want to go, okay, so you run out of base, you see that you're able to gank top side in a minute. So you just clear your, you run top side, clear your wolves, clear your gromp. I mean, depends, right? Depends on which jungler you play, right? Because if you're able to clear faster, you can actually go chickens, or you can go red buff into wolves, into gromp, into top lane gank, right?
Yeah.
The goal is, the goal is to like be top lane in a minute, and the execution itself is path towards top side in this minute, right? And then you execute the gank.
Okay.
But you first need that information. So, looking at lanes, what kind of information do you get from looking at lanes?
Waves, health.
Wave, yeah.
Health.
Mana.
Sums.
Yep. I'm gonna put CDs in general because they're like long cooldowns or ultimates.
Dash.
You can also, dashes, Morgana Black Shields, fucking ultimates you wanna know, right? If they are out or not. For example, Tristana ult, things like that. Okay, so wave, HP, mana. What else? One more thing.
Ward.
No. I mean, yeah, wards, kind of.
But then, like, position, like, doesn't the wave already decide the position?
Yes, but not the decision, not the position of the player itself. You want to see if he, like, what I mean with position is, if you look at a lane, you want to see where he positions. Usually, you can spy super easy if someone wants to go aggressive or not, or if he's just playing really like back towards his tower, things like that. So position matters. Like if he's hogging top side all of the time, right? So if he's hogging the top of the lane, you can't really gank like that, right?
Indeed.
So what you want to do is, if he's hogging the top side, you want to gank like this, or you want to gank like this, right? So you can come up behind him. So it's the position of the laner, in which basically tells you which route you need to take when you want to execute a gank, basically. Okay, ward, kind of, sure. When you look at the lane, you see if he's going for a ward or not, sure. But that's not that important. The most important is wave, okay?
Yeah.
Why do you think is wave the most important one?
Oh, too many minions, you lose the gank, and you even give double buffs.
Okay.
And then,
I mean, what does the wave tell you?
The wave, they might be he might be able to 1v2.
I mean, other than that,
he might be
like
resetting after.
Yes, but what? Okay, so do you know how to like wave manipulate and wave management and wave manage?
On top lane, yeah.
Okay, if you know it on top lane, you know it on every lane.
Yeah, I know when it's pushing, yeah.
Okay, so you know when it's pushing. Do you know when it's bouncing?
Yeah.
Do you know when it's freezing?
Yeah.
Okay, are you able to actually...
I can freeze the lane, yeah.
No, are you actually able to look at the lane and know where a wave is going to be in like a minute? Okay, great, then you have everything. Wave is just an indicator for gankability. It just indicates if you're able to gank. As I said, if you see the wave is bouncing currently, you know that you have like a minute, depending on where the next wave is on the map. You have like 30 seconds to a minute to actually execute a gank top lane, right? So it's the wave is basically just an indicator for you if it's gankable, or if you're able to, like, let's just say your laner is freezing, so you just want to show up top lane so he can't walk up, right? Or just clear ward with like Oracle Lance.
Yeah.
with Sweeper, right? It's super easy. So he can't walk up and he loses minions and XP. Things like that. There are many small ways you can impact the lane. It's not just for ganking, it's also to like hovering around lanes. You know, there's a lot of all-in potential, things like that, right? Let's just say the enemy bot lane plays Tristana, Leona, right? You know, there's a fuck ton of all-in potential. So if the wave is like pushed into them, okay, and you see your laners overstaying, you already can hover around, right? So you wanna like, okay, you see that, you don't have anything else to do on the map, so you just go to your Crux and pull them like here and just clear them here. So if they get engaged, you can be there. Things like that, right? So waves indicate pretty much what the lane is going to look like in a minute, or in
Would
like
you
next
also
30
help
seconds.
people to like push
Sure.
the wave, like to break the freeze?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Even though the gank is not going to happen.
Yeah, of course. That's one thing. You said something that really shocked me. Basically, you said that you want to take all the gold. No, you don't. If as a jungler you want to have like, okay, what's your goal as a jungler?
Goal as a jungler. Dragons.
No.
Being ahead, I don't know.
I mean, what do you do as a jungler? I mean, yeah, exactly. What else?
Farming.
And what else? Objectives.
Yeah,
okay, for example. Okay, so that's it. That's all you do. Yeah. Okay, so one of the most important things is ganking, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what does ganking do? Or what should it do?
For pressure? Like taking sums from enemy team or denying CS?
I mean, what do you want to accomplish with a gank? What do you want? If you gank a lane, what do you want? Do you want to kill the enemy laner? Do you want to...
Yeah.
Okay, so what does that
deny farm or...
Oh, okay.
For sums, that's fine.
Okay, so what are you doing when you gank and kill a lane?
Push the wave.
No. Not what you do afterwards. What's like... How can I explain that? Like, what do you gain from it?
Gold.
Yeah. Who gains gold? We're getting there.
The laner. Your team and...
Okay, so what happens when your laner has an advantage over the other laner?
They win, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Depends on the lead and depends on the player, but usually if you get somebody ahead, he wins, right? Let's just say like 7 out of 10 times. Okay? Okay, so once we know that, right? What's the goal of a jungler? To get his laners ahead. It's quite simple, right?
Yeah.
You want to gank, so you get your laners ahead. Because when you gank... Okay, so what does the game look like if you win 3 lanes?
It's the time to get dragons and herald.
I mean, sure. But like, the goal is like to make your lanes winning, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so taking all the gold from your laner and taking whatever you can is not the right thing to do, because you want him to be ahead. That's your ultimate goal. Like, otherwise you wouldn't like come to break a freeze, right? You wouldn't help them out in any form, shape or form, and would just gank to kill. Right? Because otherwise it has no value for you.
Take all the camps as well.
I mean, you shouldn't do that either. Like, you shouldn't take his camps just because...
That's when I'm smurfing, and then it's kind of easier for me to...
Wait. Where the fuck do you smurf from? Like, that account you sent me is Silver 1.
Oh,
I mean, what's your main account?
When I...
Don't tell me you have a smurf like in Iron or Bronze. I'm gonna freak out if I hear
that. When I smurf with my brother. This is the account when I smurf with my brother. But... We don't usually play on this one because we want to manage decent win rate.
Okay, I mean, decent win rate, all of that doesn't really matter. Like, if you want to actually learn the game, all of that doesn't really matter. Okay, so this account you sent me, the Silver 1 account, I have no wait. So the Plat 2 account is your main account.
But then, like, I don't play other champions at all. I only play top lane, mostly play Renekton, and then some Jax, some Darius, and some Trundle.
Okay.
But I can't play jungle at all. So like my jungler is like silver.
I mean, when if you understand lane, it's quite easy to jungle, because that's all you gotta do. You just need So let's just go over this, and we have like 15 minutes left, so let's just do this. Okay, so looking at lanes, why could tracking the enemy jungler be important? What do you gain from taking the enemy jungler?
I get to take their camps.
Yeah.
Counter jungle.
Yeah. What else?
Counter gank.
Yeah.
I know that which path they're good. I know that where they are going soon, so I can like inform my teams.
Yeah.
Usually I just move them.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I mean, basically what you want to know is, if you're ganking, is he able to counter gank, right? You want to know, do you need to counter gank something, right? And you want to know where he is, so you maybe like can punish him for like a pathing mistake, so you can take a chunk. Okay, so, and now comes the thing that combines all of those. Okay, so we already know when to gank, we know what to gank, and we know that we need to be aware of the enemy jungler, or we need to be, aware of him counter ganking, right? Okay, so what's the next thing? I mean, we got it, right? Plan ahead. So what?
Yeah.
Basically, what you want to do when you're planning ahead, is combine all of those things. Where's the enemy jungler, and what do you want to gank next, right? Basically, what you want to do is like a two-step. It's basically like a two-step process. So you wanna, let's just say you already know that you want to gank top lane, right? You want to gank top lane in a minute. You know the enemy jungler is currently on his red, so he's not going to interfere with you in any shape or form, okay? Because he's probably going to path bot side. Okay, so once you know that, you already know, okay, I can take 3 camps and I need to be top lane. Okay, so once you know that, you can already, like, you don't need a minute to think about that. So you can already go to the next step. What do I do after the gank, right? Okay, so are his camps up then? Probably not, right? If he's currently topside, he probably cleared it. So what are you able to do? For example, if he fails, I mean, this is like probably way too advanced, but let's just say you're pathing topside, right? He's pathing bot side. You know that you can get a gank. You get the gank, so you know that his camps are not up, right? So you just go into your so you just go base, basically, go topside, clear those camps, go topside, clear his camps, and gank top again. For example, if he tries to like gank bot lane, if he tries to like do dragon, or if you see him on the board like going into your jungle, for example, okay? So, I mean, you see, it's not that easy, okay? This is basically planning ahead. As a jungler, it's really, really important to like plan ahead. If you're getting better at planning ahead, right? And when it's easier for you to like see wave states, for example, or things that are, or lanes that are gankable, like a minute prior to when they're actually gankable, right? It suddenly gets really, really easy to jungle. Okay, so the one thing though is what most people can't do is prioritization, okay? Because which lane are you able to gank, right? You can't really analyze 3 lanes at a time. I mean, you can, but you probably can't, and I can't either. But I mean, if you're fucking smart, you probably can. I mean, you don't even need to be fucking smart. You just need matchup knowledge, right? Once you know, like, okay, this matchup is going like this, and I can only do so much, it really gets easier, because you're... basically what happens when you're getting better is that you're, like... Okay, so let's say you would be really fucking bad at crossing a street, okay? So instead of just looking left and right, you also look up top and look at the bottom, so you don't fall in a hole, or you just look top so nothing falls on you, right? The chance of you falling in a hole, or a hole being right on the street, or like a fucking piano drops on your head, like in all those fucking old movies, is really, really slim, right? So you're selecting the information you need, or which has like the most value to you. So you're looking left and right, okay? Nothing else in League. If you already know that top lane is going a certain way, or a matchup is playing out a certain way, you already know what you need to look for in order to make this lane, or in order to execute a gank, right?
Yeah.
So that's when it comes like to higher level jungle, and I mean you need like basic understanding of lanes in order to like actually jungle, because otherwise you can never plan ahead, and if you're never able to plan ahead or have a game plan, you're basically just clearing and reacting to things that happen on the map, which won't get you like which won't get you far at all. I mean there are some people who are really good at this, but this is more like an instinct thing, but whatever. So once you get better at selecting your information you need, right? It just gets way easier. So what I always tell people when they start jungling or when they're like low elo jungling, analyze the game before, right? So you want to see, okay, how do you think does that matchup go? And I always tell them to like focus on one side of the map, okay? So if you know, for example, that bot is easy to gank, top is easy, mid is easy to gank, right? And top lane is basically losing and you can't really do much. I don't know, what champion could that be?
But then how do you decide like which way you want to start with? Like
Depends
red
on
buff
who's
or
pushing.
blue buff?
Who's pushing? Who's pushing the first 1 or 2 waves? Who's going to push? If your bot lane is pushing, you can't really gank, right?
Indeed.
Okay, so what can you do if you path bot lane anyways? You can counter gank because he's probably going to start at the same side, right? Okay, so your first clear, basically, what you want to do is you want to look who's pushing, who's not pushing, what am I able to gank, okay? Let's just say bot lane, you're able to gank bottom mid lane. Okay, so then you look who's pushing. Okay, bot lane is pushing because they like play fucking Caitlyn Morgana versus Ezreal fucking, I don't know, Ezreal Alistair, for example, okay? So Tristana and Morgana are going to push 100%. Okay, so since we know they're pushing, we know that we can't really gank that lane like full clear into bot lane, right? Because they're going to push. And then, okay, so which time are you able to gank bot lane then? If you know they're pushing.
Over push. Overstay. Or...
I mean, when it bounces, basically.
Yeah.
If you're
when it
hard
bounces
pushing all
as
the
well.
time, there comes a time where just bounces or resets, right? If it's resetting, you can just like get an easy gank if you're on the right timing, right? If you are, okay, let's just say they're getting pushed in all the time. So the probability of a ward in this bush is like basically non-existent, right? Okay, so what you want to do is like see, okay, the wave is bouncing with next wave, right? Next wave is coming in. So you want to get bot ASAP so you can get into the bush, because if they go to like the middle of the lane, you get an easy kill. Otherwise, right? And this is just a timing thing. Basically what jungling and League in general, or jungling more than other things, is about is timing. So you want to like actually look at the lane, get the information you need, and hit the right timing. Right? Because if you're a bot lane, when they don't have a ward and the wave just resets, you pretty much get a free kill.
Wait, do you still get level 3 after 3 camps now?
Yeah. Doesn't matter which side you're on. Like, you get level 3, yeah. As long as you're clearing Grump or Crux, you get level 3, yeah. So if you're playing blue, if you're clearing blue side, you get level 3, and if you're clearing red side, you get level 3. And if you're like clearing blue into like Grump and any other camp, you get level 3 too. Okay, so but that's basically what it is, right? You just want to see, you just want to look out for ganks depending on wave states, and just after that it just becomes a resource managing game pretty much. So you want to balance your ganking with your farming. So as if your ganking gets better, right? Ganking is nothing else than just like knowing the wave state and knowing the timing when you need to be there. When you know that, your farming automatically gets better because it gets more efficient.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it, right?
Yep.
So you want to plan ahead. Okay, so a lot of people so what I want you to do before you start into a game is see who is pushing, what are you able to do. Okay, so let's just say all of your lanes are pushing, right? Or top is pushing, mid isn't pushing, and bot lane is pushing, okay? And you know the enemy jungle starts at red buff. So what are you able to do? Where should you start?
I would start blue side, I guess. Wait, actually no. Actually, if top lane is pushing at the first start, I would just start in red buff because the wave would be reset, and then when the wave bounce, I can just gank.
Yeah, for example, if that's possible, that depends on the matchup if the wave actually bounces or not. Because if you're able to send him away, it doesn't actually bounce. And it depends if he hard shoves for like early recall or if he doesn't hard shove. Because if he doesn't hard shove and just slow pushes, right, and you start bot side, for example, you're not able to gank this because it doesn't bounce. Because he slow pushed it. So what probably happens if he slow pushes it, that wave is that wave 3 is under his turret. And the top laner just needs to like try to clear some of the minions so he can get a freeze in front of his turret. Or there are so many scenarios, right? You just need to keep looking at lanes. That's one of the most important things. You can actually see when you're able to gank and when you're not to gank. And the best thing you can do is like to know when to gank like a minute ahead, so you can actually like path properly, right? So if you see, let's just say your red buff is up, so you go to red buff, you know that you can gank top lane in a minute or in a minute and a half, you know, or let's just say a minute, okay? So you know exactly, okay, you have a minute to be there, so you go for red, right? Then you see how much time you have left, and you go for blue, for like wolves, for example, and then you see, okay, do I need to path up top now, or do I have like another minute, or do I have a little bit more time, like for Gromp or something, okay?
Yeah,
it's pretty easy. Like once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. It's just that you the thing most people struggle with is just like not knowing which lane to prioritize. So what you want to do is when you load into a game or in Champions, like you want to see, okay, which lanes are easy to gank and which lanes are harder to gank, right? Which lanes are which lanes are you able to gank like after they hit 6? For example, Malzahar is really easy once he has ultimate, right? So this lane becomes able to gank once he hits 6. Before that, you just need to counter gank, okay? So if you can't gank a lane, you want to just counter gank it and basically leave it alone, or just ward for it, right? So he doesn't get ganked. And if you're able to gank a lane, you just like need to see, okay, when am I able to gank? Let's just say you see that top lane is pretty much even. You can't really gank because I don't know, like the enemy top. What's a top lane that's really shitty to gank? Gnar, for example. Okay, so let's just say the enemy top lane is playing Gnar. You don't really have CC on top lane, so you can't really gank him. It's really hard to gank him. So you don't even bother, right? Okay, so mid lane is available for ganks. Let's just say mid lane is a Twisted Fate versus Kassadin or something. Okay, so it's really easy to gank. Bot lane, for example, is really easy to gank because you have like fucking Leona, Tristana into, I don't know, doesn't fucking matter, Sivir and fucking Fiddlesticks, doesn't really matter. I mean, it matters, but you know what I mean, right? For this example, currently it doesn't matter. So you just want to look, okay, where am I able to gank? The best thing you can do is like, the best possible thing is when you're able to gank like a side of a map instead of like splitting for top and mid, for top and bot lane, which isn't really a problem if you know your way around it, because what you want to do if you're able to gank mid and top lane is that you want to enable your mid, I mean, if you're able to gank top and bot lane, you want to enable your mid laner so he can like roam to a side too, or he can roam with you. So in that way you like win all 3 lanes if possible. I mean, there would be a possibility like win all 3 lanes.
When I play with my brother just ignores me, like ignores top lane after first 5 minutes. It's like every single game.
I mean, that's exactly what you shouldn't do. You shouldn't be like, okay, I'm gonna just gank bot lane for 100 games in a row now. That's fucking stupid, right? You want to look at the matchups. You want to look at, are you able to gank this? Okay, I'm able to gank this. So when am I able to gank this, right? So you just need to look for the wave. That's pretty much it, right? Okay, so let's just say you can gank bot side completely. You can gank mid lane, you can gank bot lane, okay? Top lane is not really gankable. So what you can do is just focus on mid lane and bot lane. Try to like get a ward for your top laner if needed. I really like that ward, for example, right? Or you can even like ward here. That's fine too.
Here?
Yeah, here. I don't know. Like most people don't like that word, but I like it because it's just a one-way word, right? So if it just prevents your top laner from getting ganked and it doesn't like run out. So what you can do is like put it here, and if the enemy jungler wants to gank top lane through river, well, he's gonna clear that ward, right? But you spotted him, so your top laner shouldn't die, even though You know what I mean, right?
Okay,
Why
yeah,
the
fair.
fuck my headset is fucking up again? Like it just crackles up super hard sometimes, and I have no fucking clue why.
I didn't use headsets at all.
God damn it, I have no fucking clue. Okay, whatever. My right eardrum is getting penetrated right now, but whatever. Wait. I'm actually like put it off. Okay, so what you want to do is look at the start of the game. Which lanes are able to which lanes are you able to gank? Okay, and when are you able to gank? So
Okay.
that pretty much tells you already. Okay, you want to prioritize this and this. Okay, so once you know that, right, you just want to know where to start. Bot lane is, for example, pushing. Top lane is pushing, right? So you just want to look, okay, am I able to gank mid lane, or am I just able to like counter gank? If you're not able to do anything on the map or to do any ganks on your own, you just basically want to counter gank the enemy jungler and take value out of that, right? So he can't do much. So you just need to see, okay, where is he going to start? You can do that with like invades, wards, like right here. This is a really common ward before the game even starts, right? You just walk in there with your team, get the ward down so you get the information where he starts. Once you know that, you can just like, I mean, most of the time it's really obvious where they start. I don't know why, but in low elo, a lot of people just start bot side because they get a better leash, which is fucking ridiculous to me. But yeah, whatever. So they just start bot side because they get a better leash, and if you know that you're not able to gank anything on the first clear, you just like clear your whole jungle and be basically cautious that you can counter gank the enemy jungler, right? That's all you gotta do. And then you just need, basically what you want to do is farm and look for like ganks, right? That's all you do.
Yeah.
But what you don't like, the most people just farm and look for immediate ganks, right? This is really stupid. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is like, okay, when is the lane going to be gankable? Okay, let's just say like the wave is currently slow pushing, right? So you know, okay, in like 2 waves, so in a minute, you should be able to gank this. And this is when you just come in and try to like path exactly like that, so you can gank in a minute. Okay, and then it becomes really easy. You just pick your lanes, which you're able to gank, right? Or which are going to win you the game. Because let's just say you could like potentially gank all 3 lanes. Then it just comes down to, okay, where is the enemy jungler? Then you want to counter gank as much as you can, or like not all the time, but it pretty much depends on the timing then, right? If your bot lane is gankable and you know that the enemy jungler is bot side, for example, right? So you just do Crux, right? And just stay around bot lane so you can counter gank if he's going to gank. But that all depends on like your ability to like plan ahead, your ability to see a wave state when you look at it, right? So this is going to, I don't know, this just bounced, right? It's going to be like resetted or slow push towards the enemy, and the enemy jungler is currently pathing bot side. Okay, so you're currently on bot side. What can you do? Right, what are you able to do in order to like counter gank this? I mean, basically the decision you're making at this point, right, is are you going to counter gank, or is another gank available? Are you able to do something else on the map? Like this is basically your decision. Do you need to counter gank, or can I gank myself? And then you just need to know when to gank, which is really easy if you know how to like wave management works, right? And which lanes you are able to actually gank. And then the game suddenly becomes really easy. And I'm gonna tell you right now. Oh wait, I shouldn't. Okay, so I'm gonna just give you this file then. Wait, give me a second. So, okay, so what you...
How do you decide if you want to do 2 heralds or 1 herald in the game as well?
I mean, if you're able to take it without losing anything, why shouldn't you take it?
Because like, it takes so much time to do a herald as well, right?
No, it doesn't take.
Really?
No, it's completely fine. It depends on the outcome. Are you able to get something done with the herald? Okay, go for it. If you're not able to get anything done with the herald, why even bother, right? Same with dragons. If you
like, dragons are more important now, so
yeah, sure, but no at the same time. Sure, dragons are important, but if people don't know how to like use them, basically, it doesn't really matter. Okay, one more thing is like invading and scuttle crab, right? I forgot about that.
Yeah.
When are you able to do those things? When are you
Scuttle
able to
crab,
counter jungle and take scuttle crabs?
Scuttle crab, that's when um our laners have lane priority.
Yeah.
They can help me with scuttle crab.
Exactly. Should you go for it if your laners don't have priority?
I would still look at it sometimes,
No,
but
don't
not
even
all the
waste.
time.
Don't even waste brain resources. Yes, you can sneak it, but the problem is, would you like chop your dick off for the chance to win 5 cents? Probably not, right?
No.
I mean, it's like I don't know. It's like you stick your hand in a hole, and there's like a 1% chance it gets chopped off. But if in the hole there's like a fucking $1, right? Why would you do it? You don't even risk it for like a really small, like.
But then if you lose 2 scuttles, then you lose a bunch of XP, right?
I mean, sure. Like if you're able to go for a scuttle, do it. But if there's a chance that you get killed while doing it because your lanes don't have priority and you're not 100% sure where the enemy jungler is, why should you do it? Sure, it gives XP, it gives gold, but you can just do a camp meanwhile. Usually, I'm assuming that you're not that super efficient when it comes to clearing, because even in Master, even in Grandmaster, and even in Challenger, people are not like super on point with their clearing. So this one's scuttle.
No, I'm always unhealthy after the first clear as well.
Okay, I mean, like that one scuttle doesn't really matter because you can do something else on the map, where you can get XP or gold, right? You can either gank, you can get another camp, things like that. It only matters if like the game is like really even, right? If you're like really even, then scuttles matter, but before that it doesn't really do anything.
How do you know, like, let's say if you've done 3 camps, but then the enemy team jungler showed up with the CS?
Yeah.
Like, how do you know what camps and how many camps?
Ah, okay, jungle tracking. Well, I mean, sorry, I forgot about that. I didn't ask if you know how to jungle track. I just kind of assumed it. I'm sorry. Basically, a jungle camp gives 4 CS, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you see that he has 12 CS, how many camps did he take?
3.
Exactly. Quite simple, right? One of those, and he has a blue buff. Okay? And he's top lane, and you see his chickens are up. So what can you assume?
Bot side 3 camps.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
So then you know this spawns in a minute and 30. Okay. So when you know that this spawns in a minute and 30, you already know, okay, well, he's gonna be there in like a minute or like in 1 to 2 minutes, right? He's gonna be botted again.
Okay.
So after you know that, it becomes really easy, right? So if he starts bot side, let's just say he full clears bot side, it would take like, I mean, what's the first clear? You're on like, usually you can like contest scuttle crab after full clearing with 2 buffs. So like full clearing one side.
Does that
with
mean
2
like
buffs.
I would also have to plan ahead to know like if he's doing full clear or?
I mean, yeah, but you can get the information quite easily if you just like step into his jungle once real quick before a gank or something. Because you see, okay, this camp is gone. You saw him with like fucking I don't know. You saw him with like 16 CS, right? So you know he took 4 camps. You saw him with like blue and red buff. So you exactly know, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 probably, because this isn't up anymore, right? Or this is still up, right? So you probably took like, I mean, no, I'm fucking stupid. So you
some people might ignore Crux, right? Because it's harder to take.
Yeah, but that, yeah, sure. But it's like, when it comes, then it just comes to timing, right? When you spot him. So if you spot him really late, like let's just say you spot him like on the, I mean, you can like full clear bot side with red and try to contest the scuttle at 3:15. That's usually what people are able to do. So you have like 2 camps left, right? So if you see him on scuttle here and he has like, wait, 3, 4. So he's like, he has 16 CS. Okay, you already know that he probably like cleared bot side. If you see that his chickens are still up, things like that, right? It's probably it's really easy. Like once you know, okay, it's 4 CS per thingy, and you know the timing where he is, right? Then it just becomes really easy because, yeah, as I said, he probably like took this. I mean, sure, there's a probability that he is like super fucking weird and he took blue, then he took Gromp, then he walked top lane, took Crux, took red, and then did go for. I mean, sure, there's a possibility, but usually, I mean, 8 out of 10 games, this is not the way he did it, right? So why even bother assuming something else, because it works out 8 out of 10 games anyway. If the chance is higher, the chance is just higher that he did this route everybody's doing, right, than some weird route nobody's doing. So it's just safer to assume that he did like the route everybody's doing and go from there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go give you a practice plan now. I usually have like a doc for this, or like a Google Sheet, but the problem is that I'm currently updating it, so we're just gonna do it like this, and I send you the file.
Does that matter if I play jungle in flex or solo queue?
I mean, yeah, solo queue is just like flex is a fucking shithole. I mean, flex is you can play normal games too if you play flex. There's no difference for most people. Like, I know people that are D4 in fucking solo queue and are challenger in flex. Flex doesn't say anything. Like, flex is like flex is basically a ranked normal game. So I don't know why people play it. I saw that you play it. I have no fucking clue why. It doesn't make any sense.
It's just because helping 2 of my friends to climb in flex and also practicing some champs we don't play at all.
I mean, sure. But as I said, it's just like ranked normals. Like, okay. So what you want to do is like you have a 5-second timer, okay? Which is going to like wait. Look at
So if you're on top side, you don't even bother looking at bot lane, or do you still look at bot lane?
I mean,
because
depends. If you already know that you can gank top lane in like 30 seconds or something, right? Sure, you have a look at top lane. So let's just say you're at Gromp. What you can do is like you already know the next path you're taking because you took a full clear, right? For example, so you know that your next camps are going to be bot side. So what you can do is like look top, see if like anything is going to happen there, or if you're able to like do something. If not, then you can just look at bot lane already and mid lane and see if there's a gank available when you path bot side, right? Even though you're currently on Gromp, you can already think about what you're going to do next, as I said, right?
Yeah, because when I play top lane, when I look at other lanes, I just use my F keys and then look at everything.
Yeah, that's fine. If you use your F keys, that's absolutely fine. As long as you get the information out of the like actual lane, right? If you get the information and not just look at it for the sake of looking at it. So, right? If you look at it to actually gather information, it's absolutely fine. The 30-second timer is for planning ahead. So what you want to do is like, okay, so ping. And that's about it.
It's 3 things.
Yeah. Like,
okay.
Let's just say you wanna like, you know that you wanna gank top lane in 30 seconds, okay? You wanna gank top lane in the next wave. So what you wanna do is, and you're currently on, let's just say red. So what you wanna do is like, ping red, or just on my way ping for red, right? Then on my way ping for wolves, and then on my way ping for top lane. So your top lane knows you're going to be there in 30 seconds. You are remembered to actually plan ahead and not just react to things that happen on the map, right? Because like that's the whole thing. The 5-second timer is going to piss you off. I know that for sure, because it pisses everybody off. Nobody wants to do it. But if you like push through and do it like for a week, for 2 weeks, right? You're developing a habit of just looking at lanes constantly. Because like looking at your camps doesn't give you any valuable information. So what you want to do is like look at lanes as much as you can, and that's why the 5-second timer just pushes you to like do it all the time, every time you can. Okay, so it's gonna piss you
Okay.
off for sure, but just keep going through it. The 30-second timer is just to develop a habit of like tracking the enemy jungler while you're planning ahead. Okay, so you track
It
the enemy
doesn't really
jungler all the
piss me
time.
off.
Hmm?
It's just, it doesn't really piss me off. It's fine. It's just that I would have to give up the BM pings.
For sure. For sure, probably 100% sure. So what you want to do is when you start the game, you just go like start those 2 videos, and every time you hear the 5-second timer, they should be different sounds. Every time you hear the 5-second timer, you are remembered to look at the lane, and every time you hear the 30-second timer, you're remembered to ping your next 3 things, right?
Yeah.
And ping where and just danger ping where the enemy jungler is. Okay. I mean,
Okay.
you shouldn't probably ping like 3 camps. You should probably like ping, oh, he's here, right?
Mm.
Okay, so that's what you want to do. So you remember to track the enemy jungler, and you remember to plan ahead. So this is how you like easily develop habits. It's gonna piss you off, but just keep going through it. Then it comes to analyzing your gameplay. How many games a day do you play?
Depends. Like in the Christmas, I'm playing pretty much like 45 games a day. But then like back then before Christmas,
Hold
I
on.
was like
I don't think
playing.
that's actually possible.
Sorry?
So 4 to 5. I misheard it like 45. I was like,
Oh right.
hold
Okay.
up, that's not how this works.
No. I play like 4 to 5 games a
Okay.
day, like try hard playing, and then usually after I just turbo int.
Okay. Okay,
Just
so I'm
to
gonna
balance.
tell you like what I usually like.
But then like after Christmas break, I might play only like 2 or 3 games
Okay,
a day.
perfect. Okay, that's perfect. If you
Okay.
play at least like 2 or 3 games, it's fine. So you play 3 games. Wait, play 3 games. Okay,
Yeah.
quite simple. Just
Yeah, I do analyze some of them, yeah.
wait. That's not English.
Pick the biggest mistake, I think.
No. What you want to do is like actually like go into the game, and it becomes really easy to analyze your gameplay. Do you know why? Because of the 30-second
Because
timer.
you can, yeah,
Because if you hop into the replay, right?
yeah,
You actually give yourself the information of what you thought in the game is going to work out for you, right? So you ping,
Yeah.
for example, red, chickens, mid gank, for example, okay? So you just stop
Yeah.
right there and think if you could have done something better.
Yeah.
Maybe it would have been better. You can look at the lanes, you can look at everything, right? You can get all the information. You can look at top lane, you can look at bot lane, and see, okay, could I have done something there? Am I actually able to do the mid gank? Could I have maybe like full clearing was the thing you should have done here, right? Because the mid gank is actually not available because the summon is up and the matchup is really hard to gank, things like that, right? But just give yourself 3 options. So every time you ping something in the replay, you pause the game and you go ahead and be like, okay, so option 2, option 3, option 2, option 1, option 3, for example, okay? So those are my options. This is what I could have done other than that, right? For example.
Sorry, can you give me like a minute? Gonna talk to